Welcome to the Z-Hut's Mad Scientist Laboratory. I'm Professor Z, and today we're going to attempt to take over the world using Arduinos. Grab your favorite Arduino board and put on your tinfoil hat, because it's time to build. Today, we will be attempting to take over the world by building an RFID controlled lock. Now, this setup is more for indoor use, such as a closet door, cabinet drawer, a desk drawer, something like that. If you are looking for RFID for like your main entry door to your home or garage, you are going to want something more commercial, more reliable. And now this is going to be pretty hard for somebody to break into by hacking the electronics. But as you can see, due to the size of the locking mechanism we're using with a crowbar, they are going to gain access. This is just more of something to keep kids and just people you don't know that are in your home doing repair work or something out of your stuff. If you've got a burglar break in and they want to get into something, unless you have a multi-$1,000 safe, they're getting into it. But all right, with that, the setup I have here, I'm actually going to be using on a filing cabinet, and I've ordered a second one of these. I just haven't got it yet. And it'll activate both at the same time, so I'll hit the RFID card with one of my tags, and then I can just pull on and open whichever drawer I want. So of course here we've got our little solenoid door latch, very inexpensive, and I'll just demonstrate it working here. The RFID, I've got both of these programmed into it. You can see. Now I've got it right now just set for half a second trigger. When I am installing this, I will probably set it more for like 2 seconds. Just be careful, some of these will have a duty cycle on how long you can keep them activated before it'll start generating heat and could destroy it. So just check with the part you get. Then of course we have our RFID card reader, and I've got one right here. It's RFID-RC522. These are very inexpensive, easy to find all over eBay, Amazon, Deals Extreme, Geek. Everybody carries these. They're very inexpensive. Generally, they'll come with 1 or 2 key fobs, and they'll also come with one of these little credit card RFID cards. And I just have mine right here. You can see I have a hot glue gun in there, and this is just to hide it on the wall. This is actually a lid from a container of Kool-Aid. And actually it was Kool-Aid-like item. I think this was actually iced tea. And I just put some spray paint on it to make it look, it's the cabinet it's going on is metallic black, and this is a metallic red. And this will be going on the side corner, so I can just scan it to open the drawers. And it's just to keep nosy people out of it. Like I said, if they want to break into it, they're going to break into it. And then with that, go and take a look. I've got the Arduino itself, and this is one of those frog tape containers. I had it laying around. It works great. You probably have something else. I do highly recommend putting it in some kind of container. As you can see, what we have here, I've got an Arduino Nano, and I have one of these little boards that you can get for it that has the terminal screws, and that's what I recommend for this, not using an Uno. Use the Nano with that terminal board. And when I go ahead and install this, I'm not going to be using jumper wires like what I have hooked up here for the demonstration. I will be cutting wires to length, and then I can put them right into the terminal blocks and screw them down. No soldering needed. If eventually, the wire might get worn out, because it is going to have to be a flexible wire. It is going to have to move when the door opens. But I have it all figured out. Maybe when I go and do that, I'll do a video on doing that as well. We also have a TIP 120. That's right here, and that's because the Arduino, the power supply for it, it's not going to deliver enough voltage or amperage. This is a 6 volt to 12 volt solenoid lock. I'm using a 12 volt wall wart. I do believe it's about half an amp. I think it's a 500 milliamp. And the heat sink probably isn't too necessary. The TIP 120 I had already had the heat sink on it, so I just put it in there. It's not going to be activated enough where it's going to really get hot and melt anything. When we get to the schematic, I'll show how everything is hooked up. And the schematic, you can find that on the website. Just look in the description below. You'll find a link to that. And you'll also find the Arduino Code parts list and all of that stuff. All right, I think we need to get over to the code and the schematic because that's going to take a few minutes to go through. As you can see, I mean, this is pretty easy to put together. You just want some kind of cover to put your RFID card reader in. And the nice thing about this is, even if they can gain access to your RF card reader, they can cross all the wires and stuff they want. The worst they're going to do is they're going to short your board out and burn it. They will never, just by crossing wires and playing with these wires, it will never send a signal to tell this to open. And that's a nice thing about these. And I will be making a hole that the wire goes through just big enough for them to fit, and I'll have a rubber grommet in there. Good to go. And then hot glue. I haven't hot glue gunned this down yet. That's because I'm going to run different wires for it. And then I've just got right here, I've got the jack for the wall wart. Whatever size connector you have, you'll want the corresponding plug, and you can get those on eBay as well. I'll have links in the description or on the website. All right, let's get over to the computer. Let's go over and we'll take a look at the Arduino code. I guess, the schematic actually, it's pretty self-explanatory. I guess we don't really need to go over it. I am going to try to keep this video from getting too much over 10 minutes, and we're at about 7 now. So we'll go over and take a look, and if there is still a little time, I'll go through the schematic, but I don't think I really need to. So all right, I'll catch you over at the computer in just a second. All right, I got the Arduino IDE opened up here. No, I don't think I'm going to go through the schematic. It's just going to be pretty simple, and you can find it on the web page for this project. If you are not using a Nano or an Arduino, also will be the same. Some of the pins will be different from your RFID device. Just look at this chart here, but I do recommend a Nano for this project. You can use an Uno. The Millanova should also be the same pins, I do believe. But otherwise, if you're using a Mega, you've got to change these pins, and they correspond with the labeling on the RFID reader. Pro, Micro, there's the pins there. The Leonardo. But other than that, we're going to need the library, the MFRC522.h library. Just go once again to the web page for this. You find a link in the description below. I'll have a link to the library. Otherwise, you can just go under Sketch, Add Library, go that route, find it. Actually, you go under Manage Libraries, sorry. Then if you are using a different board, you're going to have to change these 2 pins according to the chart up here and what you have. But if you're using the Nano or the Uno, leave that alone. Now right here is where you put in your RFID key fobs or credit card IDs. And let me bring up, I put this program together, it has everything built together. So if I go ahead and scan, as you can see, that's one of the key fobs. It puts the ID, and that's actually the one that's right here, the second one. Now here's a card, a credit card. As you can see, that one's not in there. If you want to add that one, you can just do, string, okay, underscore RFID under, and then 3. So you just copy this, and I'll just show you, just so you don't mess it up. Control C, Control V, and you just change this to number 3, and then bring that back up. Do a Control V. Oops, I did a Control V. My bad. I want to do a Control C. Then Control V, backspace. It added a space in there for some reason. Now that credit card, RFID card will work with this, and now we have 3. Now if you only want to have 1, delete the others out and just add your card to this one. The only other thing you have to do is down here, you have, you just duplicate this. As you can see, here's the one for number 2. If you want, and we just did that 3rd card, what we'll do is we'll copy that, paste it, and since we have 3 of them now, we want to change that to number 3, and so on and so on. I mean, you can put as many cards to this as you want. Right here, this is just something I have added in. If you scan a card that doesn't work, you can have, it's optional, you can have a red LED that'll light up, and it'll just light up for 2 seconds telling you the card's invalid. Completely optional. The setup I have doesn't have it, but you can see right here what you could use an RGB and just use the red and the green, and when it opens the lock, and this is the void open lock, if it scans a card that's good, it turns the LED, the green one, on. It turns the relay, or you can also, the solenoid, whatever you're using to activate, to open, your lock. And this is the amount of time it will be open, and I'll actually change that because I am going to want mine to be on for 2 seconds. Other than that, don't change anything else in here. Right here, you can change this to what you want to happen when a good card is scanned. Otherwise, leave it alone. All right, I want to try to keep this video short, and I think we went through everything. Once again, go to the website, link in the description below. You'll find the Arduino sketch on there. You'll find the parts list, links to get the parts. You'll find the schematic, that's very important. Everything you'll need is on there. So with that, we'll wrap this up. If you found the information useful, please give me a thumbs up. And very, very, very importantly, do not forget this, to always wear your tinfoil hat when we are building, because we don't want the government or the men in black to know what we're up to.